And I think it's a really interesting moment in Japan's economy, not just because the Bank of Japan is, sort of been raising interest rates for the first time really in a generation. But I think more because in that process, a lot of people looking at Japan who previously were very much focused on demographics as being a defining characteristic of Japan's economy, and Japan was this aging society and so on. In that process, they've forgotten about how important demographics now are. With the economy looking better, that's been the thing that people are focused on rather than the fact that the population is falling. Now, why does that matter? Why is demographics now important? And what's the question for this video today? The question really is, can consumption in Japan ever grow again? And that really, I think, is a big issue because when you look at the macro data in Japan, consumption hasn't grown at all in real terms since 2013. So there's now been more than 10 years, a 10-year process in which the markets have become much more optimistic, in which the Bank of Japan has been raising interest rates, in which inflation has gone up and so on. In that process, consumption hasn't grown at all. Now, why is that important for demographics? Because the other thing that changed a little bit before 2013 was that the population stopped growing. And obviously, if there are less people to spend, you might think that that would mean that consumption starts to fall. And so, just at this time, I think, where a lot of people have forgotten or at least pushed aside demographics as being an issue for Japan's economy, actually, when you look at the data, it's suddenly starting to become much more important and much more relevant. So, the question I want to answer today is, will Japanese consumption ever grow again? And if and depending on the answers of that, then look at what the market implications of that might be.